Adriana.
And I'm Jen.
And welcome to another exciting season of Two Moms in the Kitchen.
This season is sure to bring you some great new recipes, many tips and tricks for working in the kitchen, a whole lot of good conversation, and a great deal of fun.
We know that the world looks a little different now, but we hope that we can bring some joy and laughter into your home each episode.
We are so excited to be back. You will notice this season that we are not wearing gloves and masks. The main reason is because we are both fully vaccinated.
However, we will still be following proper health and safety procedures, such as distancing, washing hands, and sanitizing.
This is in accordance to public health guidelines, and we are happy to comply.
Welcome back!
Hi!
We are so excited to be here again, and we have so many wonderful ideas and so many wonderful things planned for our cooking show. So we thought we'd go ahead and just get started diving in. Today we're going to be doing easy back to school breakfasts because we are back in school and I know that mornings can be very hectic. We have created a show for you that these are all breakfasts that you can make beforehand and either reheat or just pass to your kids the morning of school. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. The first one we're doing is quinoa oatmeal. Now you might not associate quinoa and oatmeal together, but this is a recipe that I found when my youngest was about 4 months old and we were just starting to get into food. So I kind of put it in my back pocket until he was ready. And now all of my kids love it. My husband loves it. I make it multiple times in the week and it's very easy to do and reheat. So let's get started. We start with quinoa. Also, this recipe, you can easily quadruple it if you need to. I usually, when I'm doing it for my kids and my husband, I usually quadruple it because people will just go crazy for it.
Yes.
This is just a single recipe, but like I said, you can do whatever you need to feed the amount of people you're gonna feed. So we start with half a cup of quinoa and we rinse quinoa. We always rinse quinoa.
Yes.
Do you know why?
It's got some type of film on it.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's just to kind of get that yuckiness off of it.
Very technical.
Very technical, yes. This is a cooking show. We're
That's
very
right.
technical here. The yuckiness off of the quinoa. And I like to do it with cool water. There we go. All right, and we just let it sit. The next thing is a cup of milk. You can also use any milk substitute. I've done it very successfully with almond milk. And we've recently discovered that my oldest might have a little bit of a milk intolerance. Mm-hmm. So I've started doing half milk, half water.
Okay.
But he also does almond milk with no problem. It doesn't alter the taste. The reason we use milk is it gives it a little creaminess in the recipe. So we're gonna put a cup of milk in a pan and you're gonna wanna bring it to a boil. Okay, and we will come back to it when it's at a boil. Our milk is ready, so let's go ahead and add the quinoa to it. It's nice and hot. Now you do want to kind of keep an eye on this because the milk can overflow. I have had many situations where the milk got out of control when I was first making it and I didn't know that we were going to be crazy. So that's fine. Okay, so then we put it back on the burner and we let the milk come to a bit of a simmer. We leave it still on that high. And then when it gets to that nice simmer, we're gonna turn it down to low and let it sit for 10 minutes. We'll set the timer when we're there. All right, we are there. So we'll put it on low for 10 minutes. Okay, and like I said, just kind of keep a little bit of an eye on it because when you're heating up milk, it tends to get a little crazy. Okay, and we'll come back to it in about 10 minutes. Okay, so our 10 minutes is up, and this is what our quinoa oatmeal looks like so far. So this is the point that we add all the things that make it taste really, really yummy. So we start with a teaspoon of cinnamon. Now, this is the original recipe that I have been making, because when you make something from a recipe, you make it like the first time they say it, right? So you can certainly do whatever you want. If you like it less sweet, that's fine. I am putting in a teaspoon of honey. If you don't like it that sweet, or you don't like honey, you can put maple syrup, you can put agave, you can do whatever you want. And then I also do a tablespoon of brown sugar. There we go. And this is going to be all mixed together. And what you want to do, because we're doing this now while there's still a little bit of liquid in there, so that the quinoa takes on those flavors. And it's going to go back on the stove for about 5 minutes, or until you see that most of the liquid is gone and you don't have this like sloshiness in the quinoa. We're very technical with our words today.
Yes.
Okay, so that's going to go on, same temperature, we're still on low, for about 5 minutes, and then we'll come back to it and we'll see how it looks. Okay, so we are here, the quinoa is done. So let's have a look at how we're doing. Oh, it's perfect. So you can see most of the liquid is gone.
Smells delicious.
Smells good, right? So you just put it in a bowl and you're all set. My kids like to do, they like a scoop of peanut butter in there.
Ooh.
Yeah, they go crazy for it. And that's it. They'll eat it with the peanut butter all mixed in. A couple of ice cubes, because sometimes it's a little bit too hot, but the ice cubes, the extra water doesn't affect it. It's fine. My husband loads it up with any fruit that we have in the fridge, also with a scoop of peanut butter. But you could do any nut butter, anything you would want. You could do raisins, you could do granola, you could do really anything that you would do for regular oatmeal. This is just quinoa oatmeal, and it is a treat. And I tell you, it is filling. My husband will do half of this with all his fruit and all that stuff, and he is set until lunch, because it is such a filling. Quinoa is naturally just very filling and full of fiber and just really, really good stuff. So when you make it, just be aware that the kids might not eat a lot of it just because it's so filling. But anyways, enjoy. And here, I'll give you one more little peek of what that looks like. There you go.
All right, so another option that you can do for breakfast that are quick and easy are yogurt parfaits. So this is a great recipe to start as like a jumping off point, because whatever you have on hand can be added in. Now what I've done is actually I've made the granola myself, and again, we'll post the recipe, but that's another good way to start as well, because this recipe is very easy. It's just rolled oats, and then you add in some honey and some either maple syrup, and it's got coconut oil in it, but then you can add add-ins. So the recipe says, to add 2 cups of nuts in there, but if you're a nut-free family or you don't want that much nuts, you can add cranberries. I've added cranberries in here, so I did half nuts and half cranberries.
Ooh, that sounds delicious.
You could do chocolate chips, you could do raisins, you could do pumpkin seeds, whatever you want and whatever your family will eat is what you can add in. And it's super simple. It takes like 25 minutes in the oven. You spread it on a cookie sheet and cook it, and then you just crumble it up and you have homemade granola. So that is a great addition to this. So with yogurt parfaits, you're just going to take any kind of yogurt. You can use regular yogurt, you can use Greek yogurt, you can use flavored yogurt, whatever your family likes. And then you can use any container to put it in, because you're going to layer it up. So you want something that's has a little height to it. You can use a drinking glass, you can use mason jars. These are great to make ahead and put in the fridge. The only thing is you don't want to do it too far in advance, because then the granola will get soggy with the moisture from the yogurt. So I'm going to use the plastic drinking glasses, and it can't be simpler, honestly. You put basically a scoop, maybe a scoop and a half, just enough to cover the bottom. It does get messy, but that's okay.
I feel like yogurt is messy. Like that's the nature of yogurt.
Exactly. And then you're going to add whatever fruits you have. So I was just saying to Adriana that I couldn't find blueberries. Blueberries are a big hit in our family, but right now there's shortage of blueberries. So we went with blackberries instead. We have raspberries, blackberries, and strawberries. You could put kiwi in it. You could put mango if you wanted to, whatever your family likes.
I would just say don't try banana.
Yes.
Banana tends to get a little bit yucky.
Gummy. Yucky. The word of the day.
The word of the day. Yeah, that would be probably the only fruit that you would have a hard time with, I think.
Yeah. So you just layer it up. Like there's no rhyme or reason to it. We're gonna layer it up. I'm gonna add some of that granola in for a bit of crunch. There we go. And then do it all again. So a few raspberries in there, some strawberries. I like the blackberries for just a little bit of color.
Looks delicious.
And let's throw one more on there. There we go. And then just another little sprinkle of granola on top. And voila. So you can cover that with a little bit of saran wrap and pop it in the fridge. If you do use the mason jars, and just screw the lid on and pop it in the fridge. Like I said, probably for a couple of days. You don't want to go too long. I wouldn't do a week's worth of it because by Friday it'll probably get a little soggy. But then you've got colorful, healthy, fun breakfast idea.
Delicious. I would also say you could probably do this for, snacks and all those things. And if you wanted to last a little bit longer, don't put the granola on each layer.
Yes.
And then just leave it as a container on the side and put it on the top.
Yeah.
But this is delicious.
Yeah.
I'm very happy with that.
Yeah.
That'll be a great snack and breakfast.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well done.
All right. The next idea that we're going to present is pancakes. Simple, easy. They freeze really, really well. You can either make up a big batch and put them out on a cookie sheet to flash freeze them and then stack them up. Or you can put parchment paper in between each layer and freeze them like that. And then all you have to do is take them out in the morning, stick them in the toaster oven. If you have a defrost button on your toaster oven, like some of them do, hit the defrost button, pop it in, and then you've got nice warm pancakes. And it's always good on a cold day or a rainy day to have a nice warm breakfast. So we're gonna get started with this. We're gonna start with a cup and a half of all-purpose flour in a bowl. And to that, we are going to add 1 tablespoon of baking powder.
Always make sure your baking powder is still fresh.
Yes.
That is huge, or else your pancakes will not turn out.
Yep. Okay, we're gonna add 2 tablespoons of sugar, which seems like a lot, but once it's dispersed over the many pancakes that you're gonna make, it's actually a good quantity. And then we're going to do 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt. 1, 2, 3. There we go. All right. And we're just gonna whisk that together. There we go. So we'll put that aside, and in a separate bowl, what we're going to do is crack an egg. Maybe. There we go. There we go. No shells. Yay! I'm just gonna give my hands a quick rinse. Go. Okay. And we're going to beat that up. Just give that a good mix. All right, just until it gets light. They say fluffy. I think you get a really good arm workout. You kept going until it's fluffy. So just until it's a little pale. Okay, and next we're going to add in a cup of milk. I've got just over a cup in here, so that's about right. There we go. And I've got 2 tablespoons of melted butter. So that's going to go in there as well. And we'll just stir that all up. Now some recipes say for you to make a well in the middle. Some just say dump it in. So this one says just dump it in. So we're just going to put it in.
What is the purpose of the well?
I'm not 100% sure, because I always find that my liquid overflows the well. So
yeah. And there's no well.
There's no well, no. So we're just going to give that a mix. You don't want to mix it too much, because then you'll get tough pancakes, and we don't want that. We don't want to be able to throw them across the room or use them as hockey pucks. So we're just going to
I've made a few hockey pucks in my time.
Yeah, I think we all have. That's how you learn, right?
Yep, that's true.
You just want to make sure that all the ingredients are mixed together. You don't want any raw flour sitting around. So make sure that you just kind of scrape up from the bottom too, because I find the flour likes to hide down there. All right, so some of the recipes say to let it rest. This one does not, so we're just going to go ahead and start scooping. And what I found is that a quarter cup measuring cup, there we go, that's the word I'm looking for, is perfect size for a pancake. So we already have the griddle heated up. We've sprayed it with some cooking spray. Frying pans work just the same, but the griddle you can do more. So if you've got a big family, it's perfect because
we do 6 at a time on this.
Exactly.
And we just keep going.
Yep.
And usually when I make them, that we're going to eat them fresh, I will put the oven on at about 200 and put them in as I'm making more so that they stay nice and warm. Because everybody likes warm pancakes.
Really?
Yeah. That's true. Yeah. Now, when you make them to freeze, do you do any add-ins to them or you just leave them like this?
It depends on the mood of my kids. Sometimes a few chocolate chips sprinkled in are good. Blueberry pancakes are another one of our favorites.
Oh yeah, that's delicious.
So if not, a lot of times what they'll do when we're freezing them is put add-ons after they've cooked, like after they've reheated them, then add a few sprinkles of blueberries on top or chocolate chips or what have you. So I think I can squeeze a couple more on here.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, when I was growing up, my stepdad was always famous for his pancakes. So I would have, friends come over and he would do like add-ins and usually like bananas and chocolate chips and stuff like that. And one time I was probably about 15 or so, and for some reason we didn't have chocolate chips in the house. So he got, the Hershey's has those nuggets.
Yes.
And he chopped them up and he put those in our pancakes.
That's awesome.
So I had almonds and chocolate.
Oh, fantastic.
You got to be creative with what you have.
Exactly.
It's fine, but they were delicious.
Yes,
So.
I can imagine. Sometimes a little bit of like Nutella, or like an almond spread or something like that, or peanut butter is always good.
Yep.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with pancake as a base. It's almost like a piece of bread.
Yeah,
like for toast.
For sure.
So
yeah. And now my stepdad as he's gotten older doesn't like syrup on his pancakes. So now it has to be tons of fruit and whipped cream.
Okay, so close to that, I do a scoop of yogurt and fruit on top
I've never
of
done
my
yogurt
pancakes.
on a pancake.
Yes.
That sounds delicious.
Yep. Yeah, I've gotten away from the maple syrup, but I really like the idea of the yogurt with the fresh cream on top.
Yeah, we get our syrup typically in a non-pandemic year. We go to Maple Syrup Fest in Elmira and do that. My husband has a friend who used to live with these maple syrup guys, and they have a working farm and everything, and do maple syrup. So we love our maple syrup here. We
buy the 4.
Oh yeah, we have a couple of those in
jug,
the garage.
Yeah, and that lasts us for the whole year.
Really?
So, yeah.
Oh, we go through a few. Well, because I bake with it too, right?
That's right.
So what do you do?
Yeah. Okay, so the trick to flipping pancakes is that you wait for all the bubbles to disappear.
My trick is I wait for the outside to kind of harden.
Okay.
That's just my own.
Yeah.
That's how I have always done it.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
That one's looking pretty good. Oh, it's nearly there. Just needs to get a little bit more caramel.
Yep.
Yeah. We also wanted to kind of touch on back to school and how everybody was feeling because it can be a little bit of an anxiety-ridden time. So, Jen, how are your kids with school and doing all that?
My eldest, who is in grade 7 now, is doing fine, but she's a social butterfly and she was chomping at the bit to get back to school and see her friends and get back into the routine, and she wants normal, which is not normal in the sense that we were used to, but the new normal, I guess you could call it. My son, like we touched on last year at this time, is still going through a little bit of anxiety with new routine, new teacher, all the unknowns and stuff like that. So much like last year, we've implemented the tips and tricks that help him with a little bit of overcoming anxiety and stuff like that. We've tried some essential oils. He has his worry rock. We do a book and a kissing hands routine in the morning. And so far it hasn't been too bad, but we're only talking a couple days into school. So we're hoping that this will set a good foundation for the rest of the year for him. And how are your kids?
They are all very excited to be back. My youngest, who is not here, has started school, and we worked really, really hard the past little while to get him, just used to his teacher's name, and I would always tell him, I'm going to miss you, but I'll always pick you up, and all those things. And so the first day of school, there were no tears. He walked in. There was lots of tears on the yard, of other kids, but he was very brave and just went in with no problem. My oldest, as if nothing, just went down to his class line and saw his friends and was loving life. And my daughter, she had a lot of nerves. She woke up a few times the night before, and then in the morning, she just was just a little timid. But once she saw her teacher, and in Ontario, I don't know how it is in other provinces, but the kids go to kindergarten for 2 years, so it's called JK and then SK. So my daughter started her SK year, and my son started his JK year. So and they always try to keep you with the same teacher. So my daughter had her teacher last year, same teacher this year. So and there was a lot of the same kids in the class. So it was really, really good to see her kind of perk up and be like, oh yeah, we've done this before. We'll be okay. And now the hope is just that they stay in school.
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes. Hopefully everything will work out.
A lot of it is the unknown. And I mean, I go through that too. If I don't know a situation and stuff like that, there's always a little bit of anxiety. So I can just imagine how it is for the kids.
Yes.
And as soon as they see those familiar faces and the familiar routine and stuff like that, they get back into it, and then everything's good again.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, so hopefully everything will work out well this year, and everybody will be happy and healthy and stay in school.
Yes. Fingers crossed. Fingers and toes.
Right?
All right. Well, these ones could use a little bit longer, but those ones are looking good. And that's what you want, is just a little bit of a golden brown color on your pancakes.
These are very fluffy. I'm impressed with you.
Thank you. I find that this size is just perfect for little ones. 1 or 2 of those, and they're good for the day. You don't want dinner plate size pancakes.
No, there's a restaurant here in town that we'll occasionally go to for breakfast on Saturday mornings, and we get one order of the kids' pancakes. It's 2 massive pancakes, and my 2 youngest will share that.
Yes.
And sometimes they don't finish it.
Yeah.
It's just so intense.
Yeah. No, the quarter cup measuring
It's perfect.
works out really, really well. Yeah. Okay, so our pancakes are done. They look delicious. They smell even better.
They do.
So now I'm just going to demonstrate how one of the methods for freezing them so that you have them quick and easy in the morning. So you're going to take your parchment paper, and we'll just rip off a little bit. You don't need a whole lot. I can never rip them cleanly.
Never.
Okay, good. I'm not the only one.
Never, ever. It's fine.
And you just need a small piece in between. You don't have to use like a whole sheet or anything. So I usually just,
Scissors?
I can rip it.
Oh.
You just want something so that they don't stick together. Kind of like when you get hamburgers together. Oh, maybe not. There we go. So we're just gonna make a loud mess. There we go. It doesn't have to be perfect. So what you're going to do is take either your Ziploc bag, or you can do it in a container as well, and just clean hands. Take one and just layer them up just like this.
That's it.
And then stick them in the bag. So there's a stack of 3.
Perfect.
There we go. So how many did we get? 3, 6, 9, 10, almost 11. 10 and a little one. They're gonna flop all around
The
here.
little one is for you to sample when you're done.
That's right.
To make sure they're good.
Yes, the cook always has to taste test.
That's your right.
Yes.
You did the work.
Or if there's little hands around, I find it disappears really quickly.
Yeah, they get in the way.
So there we go. And then you just zip it up, pop it in the freezer, and you're good to go.
We hope you've enjoyed this episode. We're so looking forward to bringing you some really fun and exciting recipes. If you have any recipes that you would like us to try, go ahead and make a comment at the bottom. Don't forget to subscribe to us so that you can get notification every single time that we upload a new video. And we can't wait to start sharing some excellent recipes with you.